Hello, ladies and jelly spoons. Welcome to 24K movies, TV shows, and video game reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, my health has been suffering a lot lately, but I'm trying to deliver all I can, when I can, with what I can. And I need to talk about a new series that started on HBO. We waited forever. We heard a bunch of monotony about it, but now it has premiered and it is here. Ladies and gentlemen, from the twisted mind of Stephen King, we have It, Welcome to Derry. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It, Welcome to Derry. If you do not know what Stephen King's It is, I don't know what to tell you. You have the original with Tim Curry, a two-parter. If you haven't read the book, if you haven't watched the newest iterations, there is a new gen version with Skarsgård, who also plays Pennywise in this series. We are in the King universe, the multiverse, the King multiverse. And anybody who's read the books, anybody who's literally taken the time to dig into the subject matter, when the opening comes on, Welcome to Derry, you see some key things and key items taking place that are in the book, but we haven't seen in the movie. Pointing to one of these main ones, spoilers, first of all, I'm going to give you spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, if you haven't watched episode 1 or 2, episode 3 comes on, I believe, on the 11th. But if you haven't watched episode 1 or 2, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a few minutes to turn away. You can turn away because there are spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You've been warned. Okay, now I must admit, with the time it took in order to get Welcome to Derry to HBO Max, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like it. I know what they were doing, this and that. Let me tell you something. The first episode, wow. I mean, wow. Very few television endeavors one up their movie. And I mean, like, as of late, I can only see Alien Earth one-upping Romulus and the Alien movies that we just got recently. Welcome to Derry. It starts at a 4. And you're like, okay, I'm going to see Pennywise. There's some crazy stuff that's going to happen. But it shoots up to a 21. And Pennywise hasn't even made an appearance yet. Let me tell you something. That whole kid getting into the car and the baby scene coming out of the woman and flying around the car. Damn. Wasn't ready for that. Wasn't ready for that for a TV series. This is Welcome to Derry, the TV series. It's supposed to be a little bit tame, but it's HBO. I don't know who was in charge of the project. I'm going to say you. Wow. Wow. And you think the car scene, disturbing visuals, imagery, and things happen. First of all, Dick Hallorann is in this. If you guys don't know who Dick Hallorann is, in the universe of Stephen King, he was the caretaker, janitor / of the Overlook Hotel. He was the one that talked to the little boy. I'm trying. His mind, Danny. He's the one that talked to Danny, and he had the Shining. He had the Shining so he could talk to Danny. He's in this series helping the military look for what it seems like Pennywise, to use him as a weapon. From the movies we saw, this never happened. But I will tell you, as someone who read the books, the turtle imagery in here, I gotcha. If you guys don't know because you haven't read the book, the only thing Pennywise basically fears, besides his stronger brothers and the trio and group that is, because there's more than just Pennywise. He's a god, but there is more than just Pennywise, and his brothers are worse. But there is a turtle spirit deity that he fears. And I like that while introducing the Pennywise lore in Derry, they also introduce a lot of turtle resemblance. And for those of you who watch the show, I don't know if you get it. The only one to survive the theater massacre at the end of part one, because the other girl was in a projection booth, the only one to survive was the one wearing the turtle bracelet. That is not by accident. That is symbolism. Because in the beginning, they show you the turtle bracelet. They show you the turtle. They show you the imagery of the turtle. Why did this thing go after and slaughter everybody else in the theater but her wearing the turtle bracelet? You have to think about these things. This is cerebral. This is more than just surface level. At the end of episode 2, the car. If you've read the books and you know the lore, that car is from a massacre that happened in Derry where the people took out this bank robbery theft group of guys who basically went into Derry and had their way. But the people massacred them, including Pennywise. Pennywise was there to kill these people. Now the funny part is, you say, well, that's in the book. Things are rarely brought into life. But if you notice, Welcome to Derry, in the credits when it comes on, there is a scene where they show townspeople surrounding that car and the Baker boys in that car, and Pennywise is up in a rooftop, well, like a window place, shooting down. That happened if you read the books. There is a lot of lore that goes along with it. When the movie came out, the movie, it literally crumbled together a lot of content. But there was also a lot of content that they didn't use. I guess they couldn't use. Welcome to Derry, with only 2 episodes, have sussed out more of the Pennywise story and the being than the movies ever did. I don't know if Stephen King is happy about this. I don't know if he had a hand in the TV series, but I am going to say, just like The Shining, he did not like the Kubrick Shining movie. He preferred the miniseries on TV because it was closer to his subject matter and his lore. He likes things that are closer to his subject matter and lore because he's the author. He wrote it. He wants his baby to have life, no matter how disturbing he is. And with only 2 episodes out in Welcome to Derry, imagery like I've never seen on television has been shown in these 2 episodes. And look, there are some things that kind of creep me out, but a lot of people are talking about the racism that happens in Derry, Welcome to Derry. First of all, people, when it was announced that they had some black leads, African American leads, or whatever the current correct political term is, you had to know in Maine during this time there was going to be racism. It's in a lot of Stephen King books because, surprise, he's from Maine, he's an older man, and during his time growing up, surprise, surprise, there was blatant, outright racism, probably in the towns he grew up in. He takes from everything he's seen, been around, and has been exposed to. Even his kid almost being hit by a car, by a truck on a roadway. That's where that whole thing from Pet Sematary and Gage walking into the street and being hit by a truck, that came from somewhere. Stephen King is like that. Now, I'm not criminalizing the man. I'm not speaking up for the man. I have met him twice in my life. Once in Cherry Hill Mall at B. Dalton Bookseller. He signed a copy of Pet Sematary for me. I understand the writing style he is, and he wants to unnerve you when it comes to his subject matter. Now, Welcome to Derry is unnerving on a lot of different aspects. One, because the current climate we're in now, racism is showing a very dirty hand, and it's hard to watch. It's disturbing. It should unnerve you. Everything in here unnerves you. If you think you are unnerved by racism, just wait a minute and Welcome to Derry, because you're going to be unnerved by a lot more than just racism. You got... Alright, there's no other way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. In episode 2, there is a scene where a woman gets under her covers because she's scared, and she wakes up in the womb of a giant creature woman, she then pushes her way out of the vaginal area of this gigantic woman creature like she was born and birthed on the floor covered in goo. She still has an umbilical cord attached to her stomach to the placental of said gigantic, enormous creature, woman, demon thing, who yanks her back in by the umbilical cord. This is played out for you. There is no looking away. There is no, oh, we alluded to this. No, they show it. They show it all. And she is forced to bite through her own cord that's attached to her stomach to free her from this creature, who then gets off the bed and comes after her. This is the shit of nightmares, and that is what this series is going for. So yes, racism is unnerving and it's horrible, but that's the point of it. He wants to unnerve you. I got news for you. If you've read the book, if you've read any of Stephen King's books, you know he dips into a territory that little people sensibilities would fracture. The fact that they're actually showing some of it on television and HBO. Now, if it was network television, I'd be like, nah, they're gonna be safe because they can only show so much because of like censors and everything else. It is HBO. HBO ran Hookers at the Point. They ran the jail documentary with tossed salads and syrup. The HBO has moments of letting stuff go. Welcome to Derry seems like it had no quality control. They were just like, yeah, do whatever you want to do. Because, damn. The pickle jar scene where she's attacked in the aisle by the pickle jar, and the pickle jar turns into parts of her dead father who was ripped apart in the pickle jar and comes after her and to stick the whole tongue. Look, Welcome to Derry is disturbing. If I could sum it up in one word, it's disturbing. This is not It the movie. This is not It the Tim Curry movie. This is It the deity of what that Pennywise represents. And I hope they go into his family lineage and the brothers and the other things. And I hope they do the backstory with the turtle. So, because a lot of people who didn't read the book don't know nothing about the turtle. They don't know nothing about the brothers or anything like that. But as Welcome to Derry is actually coming into life, it looks like a multiverse of characters, a multiverse of Stephen King lore meets in this one area. Now, Pennywise being likened to Randall Flagg, likened to being the guy from the Watchtower. Like, Stephen King's universe crosses many boundaries, but they're all anchored in Maine. But it looks like we may have gotten the first multi-universal Stephen King property in Derry. Now, Derry, Welcome to Derry, the viewership is through the roof right now. You only have 2 episodes, but the viewership is through the roof. And I'm telling you, if you have younger children, do not let them watch this. If you have people with delicate sensibilities, do not let them watch it. If you have an older person or people who that are saved and people who do not want to experience this level of environment, this is what Stephen King's books are like, brought to life. It's disturbing imagery, and I'm telling you, it will give you nightmares. This Welcome to Derry, I don't know how they got the green light to go as far as they did, because there are moments where you want them to cut away and they just won't. I myself had to turn my head and look away from some scenes because they were so disturbing I could not watch. And I read the book and I know these things, but when the things happen, I'm like, oh, like a lot of people was wondering in that car at the end of episode 2, whether it was that family that was driving around with him. No, that's the Baker Boys. And they pretty much give it to you when the credits come on. They show the Baker Boys in the center of town in that car, all being blasted on by everybody in town, including Pennywise. Now remember, he is the architect behind everything that happens. Remember that. But on the same token, this is not going to be Stephen King's It. It has Welcome to Derry, but the stories that happen in Stephen King's mind are being brought to life in a universe visually told. It is gory, it is unnerving, it is disturbing, but it's also great television. Great television. Of the series I've watched over the previous year, I've only seen 2 television series that were worth watching. Well, I like The Neighborhood too. The Neighborhood's funny. But when I mean groundbreaking television, Alien Earth is amazing. And Welcome to Derry, oh my God. If I'm only in episode 2 and I feel like I've watched an entire movie, another movie to the It saga, you've done a great job. I don't know how many episodes you have, but you just took The Last of Us and knocked it off the platform. Like, you were like, yeah, The Last of Us season 3 is coming out. You're like, when is Derry coming out? The Last of Us, Joel, he's dead. Well, The Last of Us, nah. Like, y'all went woke with The Last of Us. Derry, if they keep going at the level of intensity that they're going, this series is going to spark national intrigue and backlash. If you can get the episodes of Welcome to Derry somehow stored to your TiVo or your download or your offline watching, do it, because the talks of canceling this show have begun after only 2 episodes. And not because the show is bad, not because the show is horrible, but because of graphic content. But remember, you're paying to watch this. This is HBO. And I guarantee you, the more people try to cancel it, the more people talk about it, the bigger it's going to become. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome to Derry. Episode 1 and 2 is unlike anything I have seen on television in my entire life. It's nothing I've ever seen like on HBO besides watching the Spawn cartoon that was animated by Todd McFarlane. This is that level of intensity, violence, disturbing imagery. There are things that have happened in Welcome to Derry episodes 1 and 2 that I still can't get out of my head. That's bad. That's bad. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Halloween may be over. Derry, Welcome to Derry, it is still running. If you haven't had a chance to watch episode 1 or 2, please do. Get back to me, put it in the comments, let me know what you think, because this series shows no signs of stopping and it's constantly rising. It's at a 21 for content and imagery and disturbing things that have happened. You think just the theater scene, the market scene with the pickle jar, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it, and the room scene where she was birthed, it's disgusting, it's vomitous, it's great. And I hate saying that. It's great TV. With nothing else on television right now that can even touch it, Welcome to Derry, I'm just going to say you guys need to see it for yourselves. But be careful. Put the kiddies to bed. People with delicate sensibilities, people who can't watch disturbing things, I recommend you not watch it. I'm going to be 100 because it goes there. 2 episodes and it goes there already. I can imagine what the climax of this season in series is, because we haven't even seen Pennywise. But they're revealing everything to you all at the same time. And if you read the book, if you're a fan of the lore and the subject matter, you get what's going on. You understand what's going on and you can see what's going on. And the funny part is you have the ability to see things happening that nobody else does because you're a fan of the subject matter. And because of that, we all know where we're headed. And it ain't good. Because if you have read some of the stories, it only gets worse from here. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for joining me for 24K movies, TV shows, and video game reviews. we're giving it Welcome to Derry a platinum rating, a bloody platinum rating. All they have to do is stick the landing. I keep saying this a lot. I said it with Alien Earth. All you got to do is stick the landing. They stuck the landing. I'm a fan. It Welcome to Derry. I'm almost disturbed by how much I want to go into this series, because even me at a point where I'm just like, that's too much. That's too much. Like that's way too much. Even for me, as a grown old adult, I'm like, that's too much. That's way too much. But they don't seem to be stopping or slowing down. They're giving it to you full 100 blast. And I gotta admire them for that. But on the same token, gotta be a bit cautious. Because at the end of the night, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta keep my mind tight, my heart tight. Gotta keep everything pulled together. But ladies and gentlemen, it Welcome to Derry is spooktacular. If you have something you want to watch, or if you're into Stephen King's subject matter, or if you've read the books and you're into the lore, trust me, watch Welcome to Derry Part 1 and 2. It Welcome to Derry is the name of the TV series. From the Game Dojo, I'm out of here.